Tonight on Eagle Angle, we take a look at the new birds on campus.
Get the scoop on SGA's third silent auction from our new reporter, Becca Koshorik.
And we see how the historic government shutdown is affecting the country. All of this and more tonight on Eagle Angle. Hello and welcome to Eagle Angle. I'm Kate Rampey.
And I'm Mandolyn Skipworth. Eagle Angle is a student-produced newscast live from the campus of Oklahoma Christian University.
There's been a series of thefts on campus involving people leaving their cars unlocked and unattended. Here is a statement from the Chief of Campus Police, Greg Giltner, about how the situation and how you can avoid becoming a victim.
The last weekend of the holiday, we had a black Jeep show up in Phase 6 parking lot about 3:13 in the morning. The vehicle was occupied by a female and a male that parked on the west end of the Phase 6 parking lot. They went car to car checking doors. If a door was left unlocked, they would go through the vehicle and take property out of it, stuff like switches, money, anything of any value. There was also some cars that had been keyed during that time frame, and also some tires that had been slashed. Our security camera shows them going vehicle to vehicle, but it doesn't actually show them doing any vandalism. I can only assume it was the same two that did that. Our camera system isn't good enough to get us a tag, but we have a good description of a white female and a white male driving a black, what appears to be a Jeep Liberty or Patriot, newer model Jeep. Seem to know their way around campus pretty well, so we're still investigating it as a active case. The best thing is to keep your cars locked at all times, and then we're going to start closing Phase 6 gate from here on out from midnight to 6. Since it's a card entry access only, we're going to start closing that gate.
Perfect.
On Tuesday the 15th, there was an overwhelming number of people who came to the first Taking Sides Chapel. The same also happened with the Art Department Chapel. This was due to a scheduling mix-up that ended up putting both chapels in the same newly renovated Judd Theater. Here's what Dr. Brian Simmons had to say on the situation and the importance of denying yourself.
So on Tuesday, January 15th, Taking Sides Chapel was all set to begin its semester. And as you probably know, Taking Sides Chapel occurs in Judd Theater on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Well, unfortunately, on that date, we were not able to have Taking Sides Chapel because of an inadvertent error on the part of the scheduling of the spaces on campus. Judd Theater, like other spaces on campus, gets a lot of use by a lot of different groups. And so there was an unintentional error made on the part of those that schedule facilities on campus, whereby the art department, who wanted a space to have a special chapel with an outside speaker from San Francisco, was in Judd Theater, scheduled at the same time as Taking Sides Chapel. And so we discovered that at about 10 minutes until 11 as students, about 200 of them, were filing into Judd Theater expecting there to be Taking Sides Chapel, only to see that there was a slide up about the history of type and a couple of very unknown individuals getting ready to give a presentation. And because we that produced Taking Sides didn't feel like we could force the issue or be jerks about it, we just kind of felt that since there were a couple of outside speakers for the Art Chapel and they were already set up, it was easiest for us to just stand down and to say, you know what, we'll just cancel things for today, we'll just start next week. And we did that in part because we believe that it's important for Christians to really live out what Jesus says when he calls us to deny ourselves. And sometimes to forego things that we would otherwise want to do. And so we thought it was kind of a good opportunity to model that for the students. So the whole thing was a mess. I'm sure it was frustrating for students. I'm sure it was unanticipated on a lot of people's mind, but it was not intentional. It's not anyone's fault. In life, these things happen. And as I said to one of the students later on during the day, If a chapel mix-up is the worst thing that happens in our life that day, then we've got a pretty blessed life.
Our campus got a new set of wings this past Tuesday. Blake Mayfield has more.
This past Tuesday, OC got a new form of transportation from a company, Bird Scooters. I spoke with Nash Scott, head of campus improvement, as well as Dean Arter about the new addition.
Send to say, hey, we're Oklahoma Christian University. We're looking into getting Bird, maybe just looking at the options, And they contacted like ASAP and let me know about what they do, how they do it.
I think it'll be interesting to see if students really use it as a transportation or if it's used as pleasure. Some students go downtown now and ride downtown in Oklahoma City, and so it'll be interesting to see if they do that here. We're expecting in the next few months that the city of Edmond is going to adopt a policy that will kind of promote it a little bit more in Edmond. Although students can ride them into Edmond now, they can't leave them in Edmond.
I also got a chance to speak with a Bird representative about how much it costs and how it compares to a rideshare program.
So it costs $1 to unlock and then 20 cents for every subsequent minute. So most rides end up being between $2 and $3, so pretty affordable, especially when compared to a rideshare, a car-based ride-hailing company.
What I wanted to do is to just give another option that they can ride green on campus.
Reporting for Eagle Angle, I'm Blake Mayfield.
If you have any pictures or videos of you on the birds, send them to us at OC Eagle Media.
Are you an energetic person, love to be around people, or have a heart for helping a new generation of students? If any or all apply to you, sign up to be a committee member or hub leader for Earn Your Wings 2019 through the links sent out in student announcements. The deadline for applicants is January the 27th.
Spiritual Life Office is asking for volunteers to help with this year's Unify project. Unify was started by the Spiritual Life Office as a way to encourage people to find common ground. Each year, a video is made by students and shown in chapel along with an encouragement wall. The Student Life Office is looking for people who can create logos, organize events, shoot and edit videos, or handle social media. If this is something that interests you, please contact Rachel Parrott at r.parrott@eagles.oc.edu and fill out the Google form sent in your student announcements.
The Student Government Association is raising money for a local nonprofit as a part of their 3rd annual Spring Sing silent auction. For more on the story, we go to Becca Kashorik.
Oklahoma Christian is kicking off its 3rd year of its Spring Sing silent auction fundraiser. This year, SGA's Philanthropy Committee has chosen Hearts for Hearing, a local nonprofit that provides audiology and speech services to children who are deaf or hard of hearing.
And so this year we chose to work for Hearts for Hearing. It actually works really well with our theme of Spring Sing this year. What's Love got to do with it? So it was kind of fun to tie that in, but I'm really excited because Hearts for Hearing supports local children by helping them get audiology and speech services for those who have been diagnosed as hearing impaired.
In past years, the Student Government Association has benefited organizations like the Down Syndrome Association of Central Oklahoma and Stanley Hupfield Academy. Hearts for Hearing was picked for its ties with the university and reputation in the community.
We had several names in the hat for this year, all of which would have been great. Kind of came down to what are we close to, what do we know, and what would fit. And there's several connections on campus to Hearts for Hearing.
SGA will be hosting several fundraiser nights in February at restaurants like Panda Express and McAllister's Deli, and are accepting items for the auction, which will be held as part of the Spring Sing festivities the first weekend of March.
If you guys could buy things from that, if you go to the restaurant nights, all of that can help. We're also taking online donations, and there will be a text to give number. Both of those will be sent out in the student announcements hopefully soon.
Donations can also be made directly on their website, heartsforhearing.org, under the Donation tab. For Eagle Angle, this is Becca Kashorik reporting.
This concludes your local news. Now, on to news from around the world. Tensions grow as the government shutdown continues. We go to Jim Acosta for more.
One thing that's not shut down in Washington, the president's Twitter feed, as Mr. Trump was back to playing the blame game, asking the question, why is Nancy Pelosi getting paid when people who are working are not? Pelosi fired back, tweeting, stop holding the paychecks of 800,000 Americans hostage. In other signs, the shutdown is dragging on. Republicans slam Democrats for rejecting an invitation to negotiate at the White House.
But if you don't show up at the table, how in the world are we ever going to come to a solution?
While Democrats pointed to the federal workers in key jobs who are suffering the consequences.
You have Coast Guard workers who are working without pay. You have Border Patrol agents working without pay. TSA agents working without pay. That is unconscionable.
The only sign of bipartisanship was the condemnation of Iowa GOP Congressman Steve King for his comments to the New York Times. King, who has made racist comments in the past, said, "White nationalist, white supremacist, Western civilization, how did that language become offensive?" After being stripped of his committee assignments, King actually supported a resolution rejecting his own remarks.
But I can tell you this, that ideology never shows up in my head. I don't know how it could possibly come out of my mouth.
King has been a provocateur on the issue of race for some time.
They'd construct itself to be a 12-foot finished wall.
Back in 2006, when showing off his own proposal for a wall on the border, he compared migrants to livestock.
We could also electrify this wire with the kind of current that wouldn't kill somebody, but it would simply be a discouragement for them to be fooling around with it. And we do that with livestock all the time.
So far, the president has kept quiet on King.
I haven't been following it. I really haven't been following it.
The president is facing new questions of whether he's doing the bidding of his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. The New York Times reports senior administration officials said the president suggested he may withdraw from the NATO alliance on several occasions last year. The president brushed off the notion he would go that route at the last NATO summit.
I think I probably can, but that's unnecessary, and the people have stepped up today like they've never stepped up before.
But a senior official with a NATO partner country tells CNN allied officials did work hard over the last year to convince the president to remain in the alliance, saying, quote, "We've raised it multiple times at all levels." Some NATO partners were concerned about the president's repeated complaints that some member countries were falling behind in their defense spending.
So we have NATO, then we have the UK, and then we have Putin. And I said, Putin may be the easiest of them all. You never know.
Not to mention Mr. Trump's acceptance of Putin's denials that Russia interfered in the 2016 election.
I have great confidence in my intelligence people, but I will tell you that President Putin was extremely strong and powerful in his denial.
On Tuesday, a former aide to Joaquin El Chapo Guzman testified in court alleging that the former drug lord once bribed the former Mexican president Enrique Peña Nieto. The testimony came from Colombian trafficker and personal aide to El Chapo, Alex Cifuentes, who had been on the stand for 3 days prior to the announcement. There were also implications that lower-level Mexican politicians, police, and military officials were in on the extensive corruption network facilitated by El Chapo's cartel.
On Tuesday, William Barr, the man President Trump has set to replace Attorney General Jeff Sessions, faced a series of tough questions. We go to Camila Bernal for more.
President Trump's pick to lead the Justice Department and oversee the Mueller probe, promising to protect the investigation during his Senate confirmation hearing.
If confirmed, I will not permit partisan politics, personal interests, or any other improper consideration to interfere with this or any other investigation.
If confirmed, William Barr would have direct oversight of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian interference of the 2016 elections and possible collusion by the Trump campaign. The same probe former Attorney General Jeff Sessions recused himself from in 2017, a move that sparked the ire of the president, but one that Barr agrees with.
I think he probably did the right thing recusing himself.
Barr says he would not be influenced by the president, who has been publicly critical of the probe since it began.
I will not be bullied into doing anything I think is wrong.
Barr faced questions about a memo he wrote to senior Justice Department officials last year. In it, he called the special counsel's obstruction probe, quote, fatally misconceived.
The memo did not address or in any other way question the special counsel's core investigation into Russian efforts to interfere in the election, nor did it address other potential obstruction of justice theories or argue that some have wrongly suggested that a president can never obstruct justice.
Earlier today, an attack on U.S. service members was claimed to have been carried out by ISIS in Syria. A spokesperson for the U.S.-led coalition Operation Inherent Resolve said in a tweet, U.S. service members were killed during an explosion while conducting a routine patrol in Syria today. We are still gathering information and will share additional details at a later time. As of now, there are no official reports on how many service members were killed, but only that the attack was carried out by a suicide bomber.
Here's your national news. Up next, Jonathan Cleverton has your full weather report. Stay with us.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
Jonathan Cleverton joins us here in the studio. John, what kind of weather can we expect this week?
Well, we got a lot of weather ahead of us, but right now let's take a look at what it is at the second. Right now it's 46 degrees outside, cloudy, and it feels like 41. So it's a pretty chilly day. I mean, it's not too bad. You can be outside and enjoy it. However, you know, you have a jacket on to keep warm. Let's take a look at what it was across the state of Oklahoma. Across Oklahoma, up in Guymon, it was about 53 degrees, 49 in Ponca City, 50 in Miami, really warm and out to 65, so they hit a heat spell, 56 in Ardmore, and then around the OKC area, 54. So overall, it was reached decent temperatures for the state of Oklahoma, warm and nothing too bad. Let's take a look at what it's going to be like tonight, because tonight it is definitely going to drop. It's going to drop to about 37 degrees, so not quite yet freezing. Winds coming from the southwest at 10 miles per hour, so there's definitely going to be some wind chill, so watch out for that if you're taking a midnight walk or anything. Humidity will be up to 88%, so it will be colder, so be prepared for that if you take a step outside. This weekend weather is going to be bumpy. It's going to be up and down roller coaster, so stay with me. It's going to be warm and cloudy on Friday, so be prepared for that. It's going to be nice, and then Saturday it's going to drop dramatically. Make sure that you're prepared for that. But then again, it's going to warm back up on Sunday. So up and down, but make sure you watch out for Saturday because it will get chilly. Speaking of that, let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. 5-day forecast, Thursday, partly cloudy. It'll be 53 degrees with a low of 37. Then more clouds will come. However, the temperature will rise a little bit up to the low 60s at the high of 62 and a low of 24. So it's going to definitely drop. A cold front's going to come in later that evening and drop the temperature leading into Saturday, which will be a high of 30, so below freezing, with another low of 20 degrees. But don't be worried, because Sunday it's going to raise back up the high of 40, a low of 30 as the sun comes out, and then leading into next week, it'll be 53 degrees on Monday with a low of 35. So like I said, it's going to be up and down roller coaster. Make sure you enjoy tomorrow and Sunday, but watch out for Saturday because that's going to be cold. That's all I got, Kate. Back to you.
Thank you, John. Coming up next, we've got Brendan Spear with a full scoop in entertainment.
Stay tuned.
Hello.
Hi. I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you, and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come on in.
Brochettes, the sausage,
So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini, and they're the cores that we cut away, not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta, a different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
Welcome to the Entertainment Corner. I'm your host, Brennan Spear. Starting us off this week, YouTube Rewind 2018 was a bust. For those that don't know what YouTube Rewind is, it is essentially supposed to be a recap of the popular things that spread on YouTube throughout that year, including some of the popular creators. This year's theme was Everyone Controls Rewind, but it just did not work out how YouTube had hoped. In the end, the video received over 161 million views, which may sound great until you see how disliked it ended up being. The video has obtained 2.5 million likes, which sounds great until it's compared with the 15 million dislikes it received, earning it the title of the most disliked video on YouTube, passing Justin Bieber's Baby, which has 10 million dislikes. Now, PewDiePie rose up against this, and with the help of meme channels Flying Kitty, Grande, Dolan Dark, and Party in the Backyard, made a YouTube Rewind full of memes and other things that happened throughout the year. There are references to the original YouTube Rewind, along with Logan Paul's Suicide Forest controversy, the boxing match between the Pauls and KSI, the Ugandan Knuckles meme, PewDiePie's battle against T-Series, Mr. Beats, and much more. The Rewind also included a more emotional part in the middle as a tribute to some influential people that passed away this year, including Stan Lee and Stephen Hawking. The video has nearly 43 million views and has obtained the record of most liked non-music YouTube video with 7.4 million likes. YouTubers Jake Paul and Rice Gum are in some interesting places right now, as they recently started advertising for Mystery Brand, which is a site used to gamble for brand name products such as shoes, phones, and cars. Part of what makes this an issue is the fact that Jake Paul and Rice Gum both have majority younger viewers. Paul has even admitted in an interview that his viewers are primarily between 8 and 16 years old. Another issue with these advertisements is the fact that the ads these YouTubers have made are fake. After YouTuber PewDiePie called Rice Gum out on this, he made an apology video that was more of transferring the blame. Instead of apologizing, he pointed out how other smaller YouTubers had done the same thing months ago and no one had said anything. As an apology, Rice Gum gave out multiple Amazon gift cards, but these were later proven to have been claimed months before. Now, actor Chris Pratt got engaged this Monday to Katherine Schwarzenegger. Katherine is the oldest daughter of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Chris and Katherine have officially been together for a little over a month now, and it is currently unknown as to when and where the wedding will take place. Now, the most popular picture on Instagram isn't what you would expect. It isn't some movie star or famous singer or any other kind of celebrity. It's not some kind of emotion-provoking image. It is an egg. That's right, the world record egg has become the most liked picture on Instagram, passing the previous record, which was Kylie Jenner's birth announcement. The image currently boasts over 41 million likes. If you'd like to drop by and drop a like on it, then hop on Instagram and search world_record_egg. That's all I've got for the Entertainment Corner this week. Now let's head back to the desk with Kate.
Thank you, Brennan. Here we have Jenny Rigney with your Eagle Angle Sports Report.
Good evening. Welcome to Eagle Sports. I'm Jenny Rigney. To start off, here's a brief recap of basketball games over Christmas break. The Lady Eagles played Southern Nazarene and lost 89-77, then beat Kansas Christian 99-21. Then they picked up a win against Eastern New Mexico, winning 97-96, and lost against Arkansas Fort Smith 98-85. Then for the men's team, they played Southwestern Christian, losing 79-77, then picked up a win against Maryville 72-70. Against Midwestern State, they lost in overtime 88-82. Then against Eastern New Mexico, OC won 72-62, then lost to Arkansas Fort Smith 92-70. Then on Saturday, both teams traveled down to Austin, Texas to face off against St. Edwards. The men's team faced a number 6 ranked Hilltoppers, and the Eagles' offense struggled throughout the entire game, only shooting 20 for 66 from the field and 6 for 27 from the three-point range, and committed 19 turnovers. Despite their struggles, OC kept up with St. Edwards up until the very end, falling short in a 64-57 loss. Then for the Lady Eagles, for over 3 quarters, they held a tight game against the Hilltoppers. But after a rough fourth quarter, the Lady Eagles were outscored 31-12, and St. Edwards was able to come out with a 93-73 win over OC. Addie Cliff scored 35 points for the Lady Eagles and is now within 12 points of the Heartland Conference scoring record. Both teams play at home this Thursday at 5:30 and 7:30 p.m. The men and women's bowling team participated in the Southwest Intercollegiate Bowling Circuit Tournament this past weekend. The women's team finished 4th out of 8 teams on Saturday and then did the same on Sunday. Freshman Taylor Ryan finished 7th and sophomore Melissa McConnell finished 8th in individuals out of a 65-woman field. And for the men's team, they had a similar team finish, placing 4th out of 15 teams. Josh Imhoff on Saturday earned his 2nd individual win and finished 3rd on Sunday out of a 126-player field. During OC's annual baseball banquet, the team got to hear firsthand advice and stories from the manager of the Houston Astros, A.J. Hinch, who won the 2017 World Series. Hinch gave advice to the Eagles by telling them what is most important to the team's success: preparation, and the importance of being ready for every situation. He also shared his experiences and stories with the team and discussed what it was like bringing a championship back to Houston after Hurricane Harvey. Hinch also mentioned how he enjoyed being back home in Oklahoma, where he graduated from Midwest City High School. And then on Tuesday, Oklahoma Christian baseball team announced that they will be adding a former MLB star, Mickey Tettleton, to their coaching staff. Tettleton played 14 seasons of Major League Baseball as a catcher, right fielder, and first baseman. He also made the All-Star team twice. And this has been your Eagle Angle Sports Report. We'll be right back after these short messages.
Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume is not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Be sure to catch us tomorrow on our basketball games at 5:30 and 7:30. Thank you for watching Eagle Angle. Where's your campus?
Your news.